Hello, Dangal, greetings everyone. So today po I will explain how the main menu and user input function work po in our program which manages a zoo inventory system. So when the program starts po and the main menu shows, yung main menu po is displayed inside the do while loop. So as long as hindi po pinipili ni user yung zero which is yung exit, continuous lang po siya mag-ano. Then, yung main menu po natin has six choices. The add animal function, the view all animals, the search animal by name, count animal by species, display animals in enclosure, and also po yung exit. So, pag nag-input na po yung user natin ng choice, check po muna nung program kung valid po ba yung choice niya. So, pag valid naman po, ano ba po, in-enter niya 1, so mag-aano na po din yung add animal. And yung 2, yung papakita naman po lahat ng animals. 3, yung mag-search ng animal by name. Then, pag 4, it will count naman po yung numbers ng animal by species. Then, pag 5, i-display naman niya yung animals na nasa specific enclosure na yon. Then, pag 0 naman, the program na po will stop.
Greetings everyone, I am Bautista Jr. and I'll be discussing and sharing some parts of our project to work our project successfully. So let's discuss first the simple yet crucial static variables that we declared outside the main method and the other method. It is static so that it can be accessed through anywhere of the code part. So first, we have the static final int max animal and it is equal to 50. And this variable, its purpose is to store the maximum and required number of animal inside the zoo. It is final so that it cannot be changed throughout the runtime of the code. We have here a two-string array declaration to store user input. The first one is for the name of the animals, while the other one is for the species of the animal. And inside of this variable is the max animal variable that we have, which is equivalent to 50. And also below that, we have two integer array declaration to store user input. The first one is for the age of the animal, and the other one is for the enclosure of the animal number. And inside of it is the max animal, the variable that we have, which is equivalent to 50. The last variable that we have is the animal count, which is to track the count of the animal inside the zoo.
First, the program prints enter animal name. Then it saves the input from the user into the array names of animals at position animal count. Next, it prints enter species and stores the input in species of animals at index animal count. Then it prints enter age, takes the input, converts it to an integer using integer.parseInt, and stores it in age at index animal count. After that, it prints enter enclosure number from 0 to 4. The input is stored in the variable enclosures. Now, there's an if condition. If enclosure is less than 0 or greater than 4, the program prints invalid closure number. Must be between 0 and 4 and then stops. But if the number is valid, the program saves it into the enclosure at index animal count, increases animal count by 1, and finally prints animal added successfully.
Dangal greetings. I'm Katindig Luigi and I'll discuss add animal method. In this method, have public static void add animal withdraws number format exception from parsing integers and IO exception for reading input. If animal count greater than equal max animal prevents adding more animals than that allowed maximum. If the zoo is full, it print a message and exit method. In the interrupt method, therefore user input such as animal name, species, age, number of enclosure.
The view animal method is used to display all the animals stored in the system. We added a condition to first check if there are no animals yet, so the program won't try to show empty data. A loop was used to go through each animal, which makes it easier to handle many records so that repeating code. Since the animal details are saved in the arrays, we access them using the same index to make sure the name, species, age, and enclosure all match correctly. Print statements were also included to present the information clearly and neatly for the user.
Greetings, my name is Alcaria Gabrielle and I am going to discuss about our part which is the view all animal. First method, we need to check the animal if it is still existing. No animals have been added, then it will stop. Second, if there are animals, it will print a title list of all animals in the zoo. Third, show each animals one by one. First, it uses a loop to go through all animals stored. For each animal, it will print animal number, animal 1, animal 2, and etc. And it will also print a name, species, age, and enclosure.
Now, for the search animal by name is basically it is the method that will search the animal by its given name by the user. So how it works? So first, it will ask the user to enter the name of the animal. Then the name will be stored in the variable called search name. After that, the program calls another method which is the recursive method, and it is named search animal by name recursive. And basically the search animal by name recursive is the recursive method which call itself repeatedly until it finds or it reaches the end.
The recursive method, there are three main cases. 1. Stopping condition. If the current index goes beyond the total number of animal count, it means we already checked everything and the animal wasn't found. So it returns -1. 2. Match found. If the name at the current index matches the search name, ignoring case sensitivity, it returns that index. That means we found the animal. 3. Keep searching. If it's not a match, the function calls itself again but this time, the next index. That's where the recursion happens. Finally, when the function gives back the result, the main method checks. If the result is not -1, it prints the detail of the animal, name, species, age, and enclosure. If it is -1, then it means that the animal is in the list and the system tells the user it wasn't found.
We have another method here which is for the counting of animal species based on what the user want to count. This method has a public modifier and it is static. And it also has a return type of an int or integer. And inside of the parameter of this method, we have the array for the species of the animal count, and also the index. Additionally, this method uses a recursion instead of the usual that we have, which is the for loop. If the user chooses this action, the system will ask the user to type what species they want to count. So after that, the system will start to run again, and it will execute the first if condition that we have, which is to check if the animal count is equals to index. And if it's turned out to be true, it will stop the iteration of this method and it will return to 0, the integer. Then after that, it will execute the if-else condition that we have to check if the user input is equals to any species inside the array and also based on the index. And if it turns out to be true, it will return a 1. It will return a +1, then it will iterate the method again. Then if else, it will return nothing. Then it will iterate the method again until the animal count reaches the index count also.
Greetings everyone. So this part of the code that I'm going to explain is a method that allows a user to search for animals by their enclosure number. First, it asks the user to enter a valid number between 0 and 4. The program then checks if the number is valid to prevent any errors. Once a valid number is provided, the code uses a loop to go through a list of all the animals. For each animal, it checks if its assigned enclosure number matches the one the user entered. If there's a match, the program displays the animal's name, species, and age. If the loop finishes without finding any animals in that enclosure, it simply tells the user that no animals were found.
Lastly, the input validation and error handling. So, the program implements input validation and error handling through two recursive methods, which is the readString recursive and the readInt recursive. For string input, readString recursive enforces non-empty values by trimming white spaces and reprompting the user if the input is empty. For numeric input, readInt recursive first uses a regular expression to validate that the input contains only digits, then parses int into an integer and checks it against the defined bounds, which is the minimum or the maximum. If either validation fails, the method recursively calls itself until valid data is entered. This recursive approach prevents invalid data from propagating into the system and ensures robust input handling without using exception-based error handling.